It's so weird right now because every day kind of feels like the same. Okay, so I'm leaning in my lap and I just feel really not guilty, but I just think so. Someone's asking, is there a way to refactor our function to make the shortest route? And to that, it's not really covered in our course. So then I tell them to, if you were interested, take CPSC 221, which is literally the course that ruined my life in second year. Like, I feel bad for saying that because I'm like, don't take that course. Like, don't. It's bad. Doing something new with my sourdough discard. I'm trying to make like some sort of pancake with it. So we'll see how it tastes because there's, oh my fucking god, I should have put salt on it. Okay, good to know for next time. For checking my hypothetical grade for some courses, I got to work. Finished the essay. I still have to edit it, but the first draft is done, so it feels good. After working out for the day, I took out the recycling and got rid of all the evidence that I'd been binge drinking for the past 2 weeks, and then I went on a bike ride with my dad and we finally did 4 laps of the park, which was exciting. And then enjoyed pizza. I just watched a bit of TV, edited my essay a bit, but I'm saving most of the edits for tomorrow. Good news is that I got a tripod, and that's what I'm filming on right now, so it's kind of cool. I don't always have to set my phone on like just random things to get a shot. Not that I was getting that great of shots before, but it's cool. Well, I'm about to attend my last Ling lecture. It's kind of sad that I ended up having to finish it online, but it was a good course. So, I wanted to do 2 things. First, like, speak about my last Ling lecture. I'm sad I didn't get to clap for the teacher, because that's always the best part. And some of my friends were asking me to do a sourdough tutorial. I have nothing else to do, so I will oblige. I'm also wanting to use this tripod, because why not? So, step 1 of sourdough is to combine the initial flours and waters together. I measure everything with a food scale because I just feel like that's more accurate than measuring by volume. I'm using 2 types of flours. I'm using whole wheat flour, and then I'm also using an all-purpose flour, and this one's unbleached. Ideally, we'd be using bread flour, but it's hard enough to get regular flour, so it's whatever. I usually actually only bake half the amount that I'm about to do, but I'm trying a bigger loaf, so if it goes badly, it's whatever. I'm still learning too. I'm about to put in 773 grams of all-purpose flour. Now I'm gonna be putting 175 grams of whole wheat flour. And finally, I'm gonna be adding 660 grams of water. I have everything all mixed up now. The next step is called auto-leasing. What I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna take a clean towel and cover it, but you could also cover it using saran wrap. And I'm gonna turn the light of my oven on, but I'm gonna keep it off and put it in the oven. And that's gonna create a consistent temperature for my dough to rest for 1 hour. Another important step right now is to consider the stage that your sourdough starter is in. So I fed the starter early in the morning to make sure that it's like very alive. So in the morning it was kind of up to here. Now it's kind of grown to be about this. I'm hoping if I leave it for another hour and a half or an hour, it's gonna get even bubbly. Yeah, so cover it, put it in the oven, and we'll give it an hour to an hour and a half. Just made myself some miso soup, and I am off to do a bit more homework before my last TAing session.
So let's start with
Exactly what I was hoping to happen did end up happening. My starter rose up to about here, which is very good news. Let's take a look at this. This has expanded just a little bit, has kind of like a soft texture. So the next step that we're gonna do is add the starter into here and then also add salt. Please do not forget to add salt. Your bread will taste really bad if you forget to add it. I'm gonna be adding 180 grams of starter, and then I'm also gonna be adding about 18 grams of salt. This is also a good time if you wanted to put any like herbs in here. I've put rosemary in the bread, but I don't think I'm gonna put it in this loaf. This is how I'm gonna be mixing these ingredients together. I'm gonna take like the side of the dough and just like bring it over kind of like that. And I'm just gonna be repeating this, and I'm probably gonna be kneading for about 3 to 5 minutes just to make sure that everything is incorporated. I don't wanna be able to feel granules of salt in any particular place. So I'll show you what I'm expecting to end up with at the end. I've mixed it all together, and then when I touch it, there's like no extra granules of salt, and at this point it's a little sticky, but it's not so sticky that my hands are disgusting. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take the cloth that I was using, and I'm covering the bowl again, and I'm putting it back into the oven with the light on. you're gonna set a timer for 30 minutes. So just a warning for the next part of this process, it is a little bit finicky and time consuming. You're gonna be checking on the dough and messing around with it every 30 minutes for the next like 4 hours. So this is like the part where obviously we have time and we're gonna be at home a lot during this quarantine, but this is the part where it requires the most amount of attention. It's increased in size a little bit already, which is good. So the way that we're gonna be handling this dough for the times that we do touch it is that you're gonna choose a side. You're gonna reach as far under it as you can. And you're gonna pull up without tearing, but try and pull up as high as you can. And when you feel like you can't go any further, I want you to lay it down in the middle. You're gonna do this 4 times. So this is the first time I've done it. I'm gonna do it 3 more times, setting a timer and waiting 30 minutes in between each time that I fold. And you're gonna notice that the texture of the dough is gonna change throughout this process.
It does take some courage to do this, but it's worth it. It can be very scary, but it's more often than not worth it. And clearly, if you're going to try risky things, a lot of times you'll fail. I failed. I think most people I know, pretty much everyone I know has failed. But as I've tried to get across, the key thing is not to avoid failing. The key thing is to learn from that, right? To get better. And that's usually the way ahead. You will fail if you take this route. It's almost inevitable. But if you can learn, you'll get there.
That's a wrap. Ended 3rd year of courses. Okay, I'm not crying because I'm sad. It's like, it was a good lecture. It was very motivating. Honestly, I'm just a big baby. Like, just another little milestone. This is the 4th time I'm getting the bread out of the oven. It looks good. It's a lot easier to handle. It feels a bit more put together. Once you finish doing all the folding, this is when you get to kind of forget about it for a bit. We're just gonna leave it there in the oven, again with the lights on, for 4 to 6 hours. So it's just about 4 o'clock now, so leave it in there until about 8 or 9. It's about 8:20, so I'm gonna show you guys the next steps of sourdough. It's very baked. It might be hard to come out, but it's okay. There's a lot of like bubbles in here, so you don't want to be too rough with the dough because you've worked really hard or you've waited a really long time to get this type of rise. You're just taking your bench scraper and tucking the sides under to get like a round shape, then heat like this for 10 minutes. Now we're gonna take the sides and stretch them over like so. And if you see any bubbles, just try not to pop them because that's all that good stuff in there. You're gonna let your sourdough ferment overnight. Recipes typically say 14 to 16 hours. Submitting this research paper. We did it! Only 1 paper left to write now. Look at me! Look at this room! Who is she? It's clean! I actually was able to get a lot of work done this afternoon before baking. It's time to get ready to bake our sourdough. It seems like a lot, but we're going to be preheating our oven to 500 degrees and we're going to be putting our baking vessels inside the oven while it preheats, so they're going to get pretty hot. I'm going to be using a Dutch oven. So you're going to want to have some sort of baking vessel that can withstand high temperatures, and also it's ideal to have a lid. I'm placing my 2 baking dishes in the oven. It's ideal to be preheating these an hour before you plan on baking your bread. So now that our Dutch ovens have been preheating in the oven, we're gonna take them out and transferring the dough into the baking vessel. Really up to you on how you wanna flavor your bread. What I like to do is put a little bit of flour at the bottom of the pot just to make sure that nothing stays in. I think I'm gonna be putting in sesame seeds, garlic, rosemary, and poppy seeds in both my loaves. So now I'm gonna transfer my dough into the Dutch oven. I'm just using my hands and I'm placing it very carefully at the bottom. If you have a razor blade, it's ideal to use a razor blade, but I unfortunately do not have a razor blade, so I'm just using a very sharp knife to score it. Yeah, my scoring never turns out well. It's important to bake for the first 30 minutes with the lid on. Again, it's one of those things where I'm not exactly sure why, but you just gotta do it. And I'll be setting a timer for 25 minutes. Okay, so 25 minutes has just passed, so I'm going to check on the bread. It still has more baking time, however, we're just gonna be taking the lid off. So this is where you also have to be a little bit careful as well if you don't want your bread to brown too much. So every loaf has been kind of different for me, but I usually set a timer for 20 minutes, check on it after that. Another thing that we have to do is that we have to lower the temperature to 475 now. Okay, so I'm gonna come back in 20 minutes to check on the dough. So this is what they look like after 19 minutes. I think I'm happy with it, so I'm gonna pull it. This is what they look like now that I've taken them out. This one's a little flatter, but they both look really good. After Molly came over, we cut open my bread to try it, and then we went for a bike ride around the park, had dinner. Just thought I'd check in. I miss people other than my family. I miss my friends. I miss Turner. It's hard to go this amount of time without actually seeing other people. I haven't touched my other research paper in probably just over a week. Holy shit. This is so exciting. They said would like to meet online to discuss the possibility of us working together over the summer. Oh my god.
Normality, as it was before, will not come back full on until we get a vaccine for this. And as you say, that could be a very long way off.
In the evening, I decided to go to a bike ride with my dad. I couldn't take my phone on the bike ride because my jacket didn't have a pocket, but it was fun. We went to Deep Cove, and that was the furthest I've been from my house since March 14th, so crazy. Had a pretty good day, honestly. We had a bike ride, felt really good. I don't know if anyone ever relates to this, but almost the feeling of being in a bad mood like spirals your bad mood more. Well, at least for me, I was like, well, I thought I was over this. Like, I thought I was over feeling bad about this situation. Like, it is what it is. Like, I have to stop feeling bad. But yeah, like, obviously, there's gonna be moments where I don't like it still. So I just can't be upset with myself when I do feel sad. Friday was a really fun day. I got to submit my final German project, worked out with my mom, and we did some TikToks together, and I also kind of dressed up a little bit, so I felt really good, and I got a lot of work done. Molly also came over for dinner.
On and chi. You eat vegetables?
Me and Molly watched some Bon Appetit together, and then we all cheered for healthcare workers at 7, and then I had a lot of fun FaceTiming with Isa, Emma, and Gia. On Saturday, I watched my mom do a yoga class while I ate breakfast, and I've been trying to get into the habit of making my bed every day. Then we went on a bike ride to Seymour Demonstration Park, and again, it was a beautiful day for a ride. Got back from the ride. It felt really good. We went to Seymour Demonstration Park. It was just the most beautiful day to go on a ride. Last time I did that ride, I really struggled with it, and then this time it's not an easy ride by any means, but it felt really good. Cheers to 60K.
Oh.
Off to Whole Foods, gonna get groceries for the week, stuff for the pizza tomorrow. I think it's like 14 degrees out, so I'm excited to go outside. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful outside. Carrying all my grocery bags. I'm not really doing anything too interesting today. I'm just trying to finish the methods part of my research proposal. Deadline for my research proposal was literally just extended a week. Not like a bad thing, but it's almost nice to have a deadline to keep me working, because now I'm like, well, I can stop for the day. Like, no, I'm gonna try and finish a little bit, but I guess I don't need to finish as much as I thought I did. Yeah, I had to undo the belt. I'm very full. After dinner, I relaxed by just drawing a little bit, and it was very therapeutic. Another week has passed. It's getting harder and harder to tell the days apart. All the days feel like part of the one really long week. It's weird, and since I have no lab tomorrow, there's like nothing really telling me that it's Monday. At the beginning, I was feeling a little bit more, I don't know, like fragile, and I was crying a lot more. It was just really confusing, and I hated it, and now it's just like, okay, well, we're here. You know, there's only so much YouTube you can watch. I'm kind of glad I have some finals coming up just to keep me busy, and I'm excited for my interview, and I really hope it goes well. So those are some things to look forward to. I'm healthy, my family's healthy, friends are healthy. I have a lot to be grateful for right now. So weird times we're living in though. Overall, I think I'm doing good.